Welcome. I want to share with you some thoughts and maybe also some inspiration about a very important topic. The enterprising family is a resilient powerhouse. So, what I mean by a resilient powerhouse, undoubtedly, we live in a very fast world, but also we live in a very uncertain world. And the family itself is just also, in some cases, a very fast organization, if you call your family just as a fast organization, but also in many cases, there are a lot of pressure from the outside, a lot of pressure also from the macroeconomic and geopolitical environment. And what does it mean actually for your family? And why is it so rewarding and also so powerful to build up just a resilient powerhouse? And I will share with you just my story and how we have this approach to become just a resilient powerhouse. So maybe some now my story, how I just have considered to structure my family just as a 100-year family enterprise. And we have expanded our thinking into a century family because undoubtedly, and it is a great reward of our time today, is just that our lifespan will be expanding, and maybe I will be more strongly and more healthy with 100 years. So I'm now 56. Now I'm now 55. Excuse me for this. It is, and now I have a little time to 100. The question is just more, I'm just following the mantra, eat your own cooking. That was taught by my first mentor a couple of years ago. And he said to me that it is just even better to experience something first on ourselves before we spread this just in the world. So if I advise family to structure themselves just as a century family to become a resilient powerhouse, I have experienced this on myself. I know exactly what kind of steps are necessary. I know exactly how hard it is in many cases to come together just for family meetings and come to a decision. And building up in a resilient powerhouse with a clear vision, with a clear strategy to make change happen over the next centuries. So what we have done, I've got a very excellent book 2.5 years ago, and the book is called Borrowed from Your Grandchildren, The Evolution of the 100-Year Family Enterprise. And it is written by Dennis Jeffy, and it's a clear recommendation for all of you out there. And this kind of book is brilliant because what Dennis have done was in very excellent research what the best of the best families around the globe distinguish themselves from the whole crowd. And yes, all these terms, governance and decision-making and family offices and stuff like that, what these families have unified, and it's just, they have a strong cohesive basis and a baseline, and it is just, they come together as a tribal family over generation. And the main important thing is that they have put the money aside and have decided, okay, it is just better to figuring out what could hold us together on a vision, on a strategy over generation. And also the decision how they become just a multi-generational continuity of family, but also a resilient powerhouse. And it is just even better, and it is to consider to be in resilient powerhouse as a family, because undoubtedly, and I've mentioned this in one of my videos previously, is just we will see an increasing count of more families with significant wealth, and undoubtedly there will be in rising competition amongst these families, and it's just even better to become just a resilient powerhouse. So I've pulled my family together and I've explained to them just my thoughts, and bring the inspiration and the idea on the table to say, let's structure a 100-year family. And it was automatically the process to say, okay, how we can do this, what is necessary. What should be our impact goal over the next generation? And we have decided to come together every 2 months, sitting together, discussing important daily issues, but also come together to discussing just important strategic questions. And also, we have initiated in a discussion that each of us have in a very early stage a clear role and a clear responsibility. And what we want to achieve through this is just how we can take care of each other. And if we can take care of each other inside of our family, so we are more capable to take care of others. That's the most important learning issue. And also the question arises is just the tribal itself, a tribal family itself is just an open system. And maybe in some of your heads will be the question, okay, I want to do an open system as a family. But from a multi-generational continuity standpoint, it's just it is necessary that you structure your family as an open system. And the question is more, okay, if we have defined what holds us together, is also the question, okay, what makes us as a family so attractive that others from the outside, third parties, will be part of? Service providers, investments, potential family members to support our approach. And, if you have daughters, I have two of them, that is just an interesting discussion because there is around the corner smart guys waiting maybe to have access to your family system. But it is very valuable to consider, okay, how we can define who want to have access to us. What are the qualification criteria to figure out very fast, is this just a liability or is it just an asset for us? And what I can tell you is just these kind of discussion was starting and it is we have no end these kind of discussion. I'm quite convinced I will have this just over the next couple of months, years, and stuff like that. So, and I've decided to give my experience also to you to learn from what I've experienced on myself, but also to inspire you with your family to become also a century tribal family, a resilient powerhouse. And I've considered what should be the best environment to have a very intimate and a very exclusive strategy discussion. There will be an offer available from September, and I will make this just in this kind of really because that is very important to me and because it's also important for all the families out there. It's just there will be a strategy session on one day, and one part of this strategy session, it is just for 2, maybe for 3 hours, sitting in a private jet without any distraction and having a family strategy discussion on the whiteboard or on a very small board in the plane. Why have to done this? Because that is just, on the one hand, it's just in virtually the projection is just aim high. Why not? What's the reason to do this not? And on the other side, it's just in this VIP day, I've called it just a VIP day, it is just, I know, and you know, your time is your greatest treasure, and it's just even better to use your time quite efficient. And I will bring just more information over the next days and weeks into public to make it more to selected families available. But that is just in pre-announcement if you want, but I want to sell this. It's just that I want to inspire you to become a resilient powerhouse, a tribal family of significance. And once again, if I can do this, you can do this also. Why not? It is very valuable to prevent the family and not to preserve mainly the capital. It doesn't make sense. To preserve the family, that is just what we should do in our lifespan. So in this VIP day, I will give you access to my family system. You have access how we have done this. I will give you also access to selected examples. They are very successful over generations. But then the main part is just that we are structuring your strategy plan to implementing a tribal family. Or maybe your family will become just the architect of tomorrow, the map maker of tomorrow. Why not? It is very necessary and it is very needed. So that is for today, just a quick snapshot and a quick inspiration, maybe, hopefully, for you to consider this. And if you want to have more information on this VIP day, what I've called, please drop me a message and we can have an exchange about this, about the content, about the framework and stuff like that. It will be prepared. There will be a pre-session before we jump in this VIP day. It's a very structured, a very comprehensive day only in focus for your family. There will be also a post day because you will jump out from the plane, from the day with a clear implementation path. What should be done? What is necessary? What should be changed? Raising the right question. And we come together to a post event just for 4 or 6 hours. Just have a discussion. What have you implemented? What have you executed? What kind of support do you need? And the plan is for the next 9 and 12 months to redefine, to repositioning, or maybe to bring in stronger positioning for your family, to become an architect of tomorrow, to become a tribal family. That is what I'm standing for. That is what drives me. And once again, if I can do this, you can do this also. Let's be beacons for others, that we can inspire others to do the same. So maybe it was helpful for you today. And once again, if you are considering about this, or maybe you have some questions about, please send me a short message on my LinkedIn profile, or also you can put a message here in the show notes, and I would be more than happy to have a discussion about this. For now, be great. Until next.